Today I want to talk about where quiet money actually comes from, and why no one ever talks about it. It might sound unsexy, and honestly that's the point. Because here's the pattern. Most people who say they want to make money, especially online, are secretly addicted to exciting ideas. Not income, not consistency, not value, just novelty. They'll scroll for hours looking for some new tool, some new AI prompt, some weird side hustle with upside, but they'll skip right over the thing that's sitting quietly, already proven, already needed, already earnable, because it looks boring. And this is where it gets interesting. Because the boring stuff, that's where the quiet money lives. The kind of money that doesn't go viral. The kind that doesn't get 100,000 views on a TikTok tutorial. But it shows up, month after month. And it doesn't demand a personal brand or a camera or 40 hours of pretending to be busy, just one skill, in one overlooked space. The problem is most people never look, because they've been trained to chase signals instead of systems. Let me give you an example. You ever meet someone who installs walk-in bathtubs for a living? Probably not, because they're not on YouTube. They're not on LinkedIn posting how to scale your offer. But there's a guy somewhere in Indiana making $7,000 a month because he learned how to do one thing most people ignore, and he became the go-to for it. Now, I'm not saying go install bathtubs. What I am saying is, we've been conditioned to overlook anything that isn't trending, and that's the trap. The real value, the stuff people actually pay for, is hiding in places where no one's bragging, and honestly, no one's even looking. You could spend the next 3 weeks chasing some new GPT plugin that writes sales pages, but, maybe there's a better way. Or you could look at industries where people already have a problem and no one's helping them fix it. That's where this story goes. Because once you see the pattern, once you understand how so-called boring industries still run the economy, you stop looking for shiny object, and you start listening for pain, the kind of pain people pay for. And what's wild is, almost every boring industry has at least one task, one problem, one communication gap that someone is already willing to pay you $300 to $500 a month to solve, and it doesn't require you to become an influencer, just someone who knows how to solve a problem, and isn't afraid to be invisible doing it. Let's talk about what this looks like in real life, not some hypothetical, not some niche dreaming session. Let's say you walk into a dentist's office, not the fancy cosmetic ones in Los Angeles, just a regular office. Maybe family run, been around for 12 years. They've got patients, they've got staff, they're doing fine. But behind the scenes, there's probably a system nobody understands. Maybe it's how they remind patients of appointments. Maybe it's how they follow up for online reviews. Maybe it's how they track missed revenue from cancellations. That's a $500 per month opportunity right there. Not because it's sexy, not because it scales to a six-figure funnel, but because they'd rather pay someone to fix it quietly than learn how to do it themselves. And that's just one example. You start looking at law offices, specialty clinics, trade show vendors, local real estate teams, even event rental companies. And what you see is this. Most of them are doing 5 or 6 things badly, and don't know who to trust to fix it. They're not looking for someone from a job board. They're not hiring a full agency. They're hoping someone just gets it. And that's the window. The quiet skill isn't become a CRM expert. It's learn how this one type of business loses time or money, and fix it. A friend of mine made $600 a month just organizing a client's inbox and sorting their attachments. Literally just figuring out how to label stuff and make it searchable. You know how boring that sounds? But here's the thing. The client was running a six-figure industrial supply business. She was too busy closing deals to manage her digital mess. He solved it. She paid. No invoices, no leads, no marketing. Just one conversation, one real need, one invisible skill. That's what this video is really about. It's not about pitching boring to be clever. It's about realizing that when most people run toward the spotlight, there's more money in the shadows. Because boring industries aren't actually boring. They're just quiet. And inside that quiet, there's inefficiency. And inside that inefficiency, there's income. Every time. You just have to train your ear to hear it. Not what's a hot skill right now, but what's a repetitive pain point no one's addressing. That question, and your ability to answer it, is the foundation for reliable, $500 per month mini skills in almost any industry. You don't need 10 of them, you just need one. And honestly, the guts to apply it in a space no one else is paying attention to. Alright, so let's say you're bought in. You're not chasing hype anymore. You're not trying to launch a course from zero or post TikToks until something sticks. You're just asking, where's the quiet, consistent money? And how do I actually see it? Here's the good news. You don't have to guess. These kinds of skill gaps show up the same way over and over again, if you know where to look. Start here. Go talk to 5 business owners who aren't trying to be influencers. People who run real operations. Local, offline, maybe even a little old school. Ask them one question. What's the one task you never have time to deal with, but it keeps coming up? You'll hear things like, I know I need to follow up with old clients, but I forget. We have no system for organizing new leads. Our invoices are all over the place. I want to get our reviews up, but no one on staff has time. I wish I had someone who just handled this. Boom. Each one of those is a $300 to $800 per month gap. Not because the task is complex, but because it's persistent. It takes up mental space. It creates friction. And most importantly, the owner doesn't want to deal with it. That's what you're looking for. Not high-income skills, not flashy offers, just friction. Now, to turn that friction into income, all you need is the ability to say, I can take care of that. And, actually mean it. Let's say you don't know how to do the thing yet. You don't know how to set up a review system, or sort inboxes, or create simple automations. That's fine. Because the skill itself is rarely complicated. You're not building software, you're just creating a simple process. And here's where people mess up. They spend months learning everything, before ever finding a real person to solve for. Wrong order. Start with the friction, start with the human, then go learn what you need to know to solve it, not more. That's how people quietly build $2,000 to $3,000 per month retainers without being known, without being loud, and without trying to scale something they don't even understand yet. It's not magic, it's not a system, it's just attention, not to content, but to pain. If you listen to where people complain, and, stay calm enough to solve just one thing, you're already ahead of 90% of the people trying to start a business. The difference is, you're starting with service, not noise. Here's where it all comes together. Let's say you find one of those quiet friction points. Someone tells you they're drowning in customer emails, or struggling to organize event leads, or wasting time manually scheduling appointments. You offer to help. Maybe you charge a little. Maybe you do the first month free just to prove it works. That first skill, that first fix is more important than it looks. Because now, you're not just guessing what people might pay for. You're not spending hours building a website or writing your offer or figuring out what to call yourself. You're already doing it. You're inside. That's how momentum actually starts. And here's the part people don't realize. You don't need a brand to build leverage, you need a pattern. Once you've solved the same problem for 2 or 3 people in different businesses, you've got it. A repeatable offer, an actual skill, proof of work. That's what boring industries quietly reward. Not your content, not your pitch deck, your ability to show up and keep something working. And from there, you can, choose your path. Keep it simple. 3 to 5 clients, $2,000 a month, work about 15 hours a week. Or hey, you could turn it into something bigger, productize it, train others, maybe even raise your price. But honestly, none of that starts until you solve the first boring problem. And the reason most people never get there? Well, they're just too busy looking for something more exciting, something they can brag about, something that sounds big right from the beginning. But real income doesn't come from what sounds good. It comes from what works. And what works, over and over again, is learning how to spot value where no one else is looking. If you can do that once, you can do it twice. If you can do it twice, you can build something real. And if you keep it boring long enough to let it grow, that's how invisible income becomes real freedom. Not loud, not fast, not viral, just quiet, reliable, and yours. If this gave you something to think about, like the video so more people see it, and if you want more real, smart, no-fluff videos like this, hit subscribe. The videos on this channel are for educational and entertainment purposes only. They do not constitute medical, financial, business, legal, or lifestyle advice. Always consult with a qualified professional before making changes to your health, finances, legal situation, or personal routines. Always do your own research before making monetization decisions. The views expressed are based on publicly available research and emerging technologies at the time of publication, and may change over time.